Hey everyone, we're back in our exciting episode of Attack Production Tag. Back up joined again by Nick, as today we go over Starter Deck Vegito, which is from set 18, taking on, which is on the board yet, but it is Power of Duty Son Gohan, Universe 7. So like always, buttons, links, check them out. But what's going on, Nick?
Oh, nothing. Looks like Steve's leader's wrapped in bubble wrap.
Yeah, it's a weird sleeve he has. I think Jason also has them as well, just like a really colorful sleeve. But go on.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't know.
I was gonna say we had Steve on earlier, and he was playing a different deck, but where you guys kind of got paired up again, he was okay with kind of switching decks at this point because he had lost, I think, his first round. So he switched over to a different deck. That way we have more variety on the channel. And you brought out Vegeta, which we haven't seen this deck in a while.
Yeah, I played it a little while back in the day and had a good time with it. Played different variations, and this was another one of the decks that got anniversary box support, and no one's played it at the shop at all ever. So figure might as well bring it back, give it a shot. A lot of it's just blue good stuff. Some of the support's pretty decent. If you can see, it's playing the Gogeta unison that came with the starter deck. A lot of the cards in the support specify it specifically. So the unison itself is okay. It's more or less going to be your lightning rod when you're playing against stuff. The main fact that your opponent can't take damage if you have a Saiyan rest mode with the unison on board. So it's going to protect your leader, force your opponent to deal with your board. And in a deck like Vegito, where you want to have your cards dealt with because you get draws and untaps and early awakenings, all that good stuff, it's synergizes pretty well with the deck. Now, one thing I will say specifically is I do like the Android 17 and 18 unison for this leader specifically, just because that unison does get inherent dual attack with its -4, so it's able to get pretty tall with the leader's backside's leader ability too. So it's another really good option if you don't want to use this Gogeta unison.
I was going to ask, it's only the Gogeta unison that gives that kind of protection for the leader. Which super combos do you play?
I play Vegeta.
Okay,
the draw two.
Just immediate charging two of those is kind of like, maybe you don't want to do that.
Well, this list, it's not necessarily needed the unison, and I saw 3 of them, so
that's fair.
I saw a lot. So you don't necessarily need the unison in this list, in this build, which I really like, because the older lists that I've built up, you had to have a unison on board, and if you didn't see a unison, you just kind of struggled. With the Gogeta unison, it does help you defensively, but it's not your main win con. You just play a lot of the blue good stuff, like you can see with the Piccolo. You run the SS Rose Goku Black. You run. I don't even remember what I'm running in this deck. you just run all the blue good stuff essentially, yeah. So you don't have to worry about your unison being your win con.
And what's great with that Pan is that Pan, if I recall, has barrier, right?
She does, and believe it or not, she is a Saiyan. So yeah, it does proc this Gogeta's permanent. So now I do have protection on board, which again, it forces him to either deal with the rest mode battle card, which gets me awakened, or deal with my unison, which also gets me awakened. So it's a win-win no matter what.
Here he's playing this, sniping.
Pops the Piccolo, which is a right choice. It's good, but again, that gets me to awakened because he dealt with something on the board. And now I have since I've woke on his turn, I have the auto on my leader as well. So I can untap one, draw one if he does want to deal with it. But here he goes trying to swing at the leader, and I remind him that I don't take damage because of the Pan.
Which, that was, I don't know, that freeze, I don't remember if it's double strike or not, but still, like, he did kind of use a lot of his card's abilities to get the draws off for that swing. And ultimately, you didn't take a life, you didn't waste any cards in your hand. So I guess it wasn't a bad trade-off. He gained more resources out of it, but...
Right, and it cost me nothing. He essentially had to waste a swing on dealing with the 4K. And if you saw, it was a little bit delayed, but I did do the auto on the leader to untap one, draw one.
And what we're seeing of all red decks now, the classic Z extra cards getting played, just so explosive dance can be used from here on out, I assume.
Yeah. And with his leader, since he does combo pretty much on every attack from both turns, it's really easy to get this oob out. And he's already at 4 life, so it's already triggering the
Yeah.
explosive dance. But I don't think, I can't remember if he has the 7 in his energy already. I don't think so. Oh no, he does. So the combo, the counter effect for the oob is already triggered.
Yeah. I know.
And
Go on.
oh, well, with this, I played the Goku Oob just to get a little bit of search power, but it's got Goku on it, so it's also an effect for my Gogeta Unison. So even if I don't swing with it because I don't have any Z energy, I still get the effect off. I still get a marker on the Unison, which helps build it up a little bit. As of right now, I feel like I'm in a pretty good position. I have a good board established. I have a good hand, still at 6, still at 5 life, so a little bit ahead right now. So pretty much, I'm at this point, I'm forcing him to either take damage or defend himself. So it's just that slow burn.
Now he did explosive dance stops non-leader attacks. Did you remove a card from your Z energy for the unison attack?
Don't think I did.
Yeah.
Misplay. Whoops.
So here he's using his one. This unison at one point was annoying, but for this deck it's very handy. It allows him to reestablish the Gohan, even though it puts Gohan in the very vulnerable situation because it's in rest mode. So, and I think it's only like 4K. It's not a very strong card at all, but something you can easily just swing into and deal with very easily. Ooh, probably should have negged the other one out. Because Goku Oob doesn't have barrier. So he could have just sniped that one and then gone into your leader of this attack.
Yeah, he was worried about the 30k double strike big body.
Fair.
Was his thing. Here we comboed the Gohan rare just to clear that Gohan off, his Gohan off, so get less value out of it. And here I was reading that 8-drop Goku because I just wanted to see what it did. And the biggest thing on that card is the permanent where neither player can play 25k or higher battle cards.
Which, if I recall correctly, any of the secret rares that you could potentially play are now locked out as long as that card's on board.
Right. And that was one of the things I really wanted to make sure. That's why I read the card, because I wanted to make sure I knew what it did. And now it's something that I have to deal with. I mean, blue has some pretty good removals nowadays, but now it's just I have to focus on that card now instead of going for lead. And here he hits the unison, which is smart now. Don't have a board, so now I have to actually protect my leader a little bit heavier instead of relying on my board.
That Gohan, if you can't get rid of that Gohan, it prevents at least one of your attacks from trying to get rid of the Goku. If you were to go that route, obviously. But like you mentioned earlier, there are other ways for blue to get rid of this card.
Yeah. Like beers.
Yeah.
So here we swing for the beers. I don't really care if it gets countered. I mean, here it kind of hurts, but at the end of the day, it was an even trade, I'd say.
Yeah.
Now I still have 3 open energy, so I can do whatever I want. Be fine. I can play my cards now.
And speaking of which, there it is. So this card will bounce his cards back to his hand. And then if he has, after you pitch 2 cards by your deck, and then if he has more cards in his hand, he loses 1 of his life. You chose the second one of that one.
Right. And here, since attack was negated, we just activated main to restand 2 energy just so I can go and just draw a little bit. Now we have the Goku blocker on board, and I still have 2 open energy. I think I have the 4th unison in my hand, so I think that's my next play. Go into that just to again add that wall of can't take damage.
Yeah. And it's also in those tricky situations where you're maintaining such a high life, but you're getting a lot of, like, I'm seeing you draw cards. And I've also seen 3 super combos in your hand already. As soon as he gets you below that 4th life, there's even a greater wall that he has to overcome because he's used, I think, 2 super combos at this point, while you still have at least 3 in your hand right now to just hold on to.
Yeah, but it's still a hand size game. He has quite a lot of more cards in his hand than I do, so I'm kind of getting at a point where I'm choking myself out by not letting him damage me. So I need to get down to 4 essentially, so I can get more in my hand.
And with hitting his board like that with the your secret rare, I think it helps you out a lot because now he has to reestablish everything he did previously to get those draws back, like the unison, pay energy for that. Then he use the +2 effect to play the Gohan, and then go into a swing to start getting the draws again.
All right.
But you're right, like this deck draws a ton of cards.
Yeah, I've never seen a game where Steve played this deck and he didn't have 10 plus cards in hand.
Yeah.
Just a really, really good draw engine for Red Gohan.
So here you have a big 40k in defense mode, right, or in rest mode right now. I do not know why I said defense mode, but so in order for him to even do any form of damage, he has to overcome this 40k hurdle, and he forgot.
He forgot.
Oh,
Again.
yeah.
But here, I just activate battle, 3 stand 2, and then just say I don't take damage. And then he realizes his mistake.
Yeah. I see he has the Frieza in hand. I don't know if he's tapped out. He can't even do that either.
Yeah, so here he has to swing or dump everything if he wanted to get over the 40. And honestly, if he wants to spend his whole hand to get rid of it, I'm cool with that at the end of the day, just because he's going to have to get rid of 5 or 6 cards.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's gotten rid of the extra card, so now he can't. When he'd have to reestablish if he wanted to hit me with the floodgate.
I think I know he's swinging for your leader here. It's quite possible the better option right now is to have attack your unison to deny your resources and then try to follow up on turn 6 with a different strategy.
Yeah.
But he was going for the throat.
Yeah, he was trying to push as much as he could. And here we have the Goku Vegeta Saiyan Synergy, which plays in rest mode as a negate, and now my permanent's back on. So, and that's something I talked to him about at the end of the game. I was like, why didn't you just swing at the unison? Because that would have just turned off everything. But he just said he just wasn't something he was thinking about. He was worried about hitting the leader and misdirected, essentially.
Which I remember playing with this unison a long time ago. And like now granted, a lot of the ones like Pan, for example, could be a little when it's tricky, where she's a quarter Saiyan, she still has the Saiyan tag, she's fine. But like I remember playing a game a long time ago where against Fluff, I played a card on board, and Fluff clarified the permanent on the unison, but didn't realize the card on the board was also a Saiyan. So
yeah. And here we had the swing go through, and we activated battle on the leader to give it triple strike and 10k, which doesn't specify once per turn. So I dumped 2 into it to make it an additional 20. And now he has to get rid of his hand if he wants to live.
Yeah. Which I mean, even with this hand, if he's able to successfully do it, it's practically taking everything he has for if he happens to say survive this turn.
Yeah, and I'm still with 2 energy open to do whatever. And that's pretty much how you have to play this game against Red Gohan, is you have to force them to get rid of their hand because they're going to have a heavy hand size no matter what point in the game they're at. So it's kind of, you have to bite the bullet at some point. Otherwise, it's just going to go on forever and you're never going to get a swing in. So you have to go and tall at least 1 point during your step.
So depending on what's in your hand and what situation he's in, like, because we talked about it earlier, as soon as the leader, one of your cards gets popped, you get to restand energy. Is it 2 energy or 1 energy? I can't remember.
It's restand 1, draw 1.
Okay. So he's in play this, neg out your Goku, Vegeta. You go back up to 2 energy. And from that point on, blue does what blue does. Like, Dimension Magic is pretty much a free negate that restands another energy, or you can even Spark if you want to get the extra card from your life to restand 2 energy. Senzu Bean is a very good, useful tool for you as well.
Yeah.
Now, I would have attacked with that unison first beforehand, but maybe he was afraid of getting certain things, and he just wanted to get a certain red card in his hand.
Potentially, yeah. And now I'm at 3 energy, and the world's my oyster. So we're just doing classic blue stuff, just hard negating. And here we go with the Miraculous Transformation Goku, which again procs the permanent on the leader. But this one's a little bit different because the battle card itself has a permanent says your battle cards can't swing at leads. So it's kind of redundancy, but he still has to waste all his resources just to open up my lead.
And at this point, there's not much he can do because like this Vegeta second attack has to go into the Goku just so you get any more attacks off to your lead. And he's tapped out now as well. Yeah, with Android, yep, that's in effect. I think at this point, Steve has like 5 cards in his deck. And that attack just gave him an extra card.
Yeah. And here I just wanted to defend just because, and now he was able to neg 15, but I bottom decked it with the Yamcha anyway. So, and you can see his hand from the camera at this point. He just has negates in his hand. So, or never mind. I lied. He had one
so
card.
This is oof. And at that point, he just knew it was over with. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's today's matchup. Thanks for your opportunity. Keep in mind his buttons, links. Bye.